Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday. That's TLC Tuesday. That means I got two shows on Tuesday. We got 90 Day
Mhm.
Fiance and we got the Baldwins.
Mhm. I'm
Both
already
done with.
tired.
Baldwins was real good this week. I
Yeah,
think it's
you
real good
really
every week.
liked it. Yeah, you sent me a
Really good.
text and I was like waiting for,
You're waiting for
like
something
so
exciting?
when someone's like, oh my God, this episode, and you're like waiting for a big twist or something, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
yeah,
I shouldn't do that to you. You should
no,
just be
no,
as equally as happy you've been with the other episodes. It wasn't like more than.
no. It was okay. I mean, it was fine. It was a less depressing episode than we've had in the past. It was much more lighthearted.
And the two of them have just been really out there just making reels and TikToks and being real fun.
Okay, we gotta talk about it when we talk about it because
Okay.
I sent you a TikTok, and I don't know if you saw it or
I did.
an interview. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But since that interview where she interrupted him and he walked away,
Yeah.
they've done a bunch of like TikToks making fun of themselves.
Okay, I like that. That's
It's
what I
funny.
like.
It's
Mhm.
wherever they go, they're like in the grocery store and he's like, "Wait, is this what I want?" She goes, "When we're in the grocery store, I'm talking and you're not talking." And it's anything they're doing, they're walking down the street and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, yeah, well that street." She's like, "When we're in the neighborhood, I'm talking and you're not talking." Yeah.
See, that's what I wish she had done about the accent thing. I think
I
this whole thing would
know.
have been so much better if she was laughing along with us
I agree. I agree,
because
and
she's
maybe she
shown she
will.
can have a sense of humor.
Right.
But when it comes to that, she gets very
Defensive.
self-righteous and
Mhm.
defensive. Yeah.
It's no need because she's in the wrong. We can all
Well,
agree.
it I mean, she may be not in the wrong. It's a thing that happens, but she does it to an extreme. Uh, so in that case, she's in the weird. I'm not gonna say in the wrong, I'm gonna say it's weird. She's in the
Okay.
weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, also, I wanted to apologize for anybody listening here at the top that last week people felt I disparaged Amy Lou Wood, I think is her last name. Amy Lou, whatever her name is. She's the beautiful actress that is on White Lotus that plays the girlfriend of Walter Goggins. And I made a comment about her teeth. She's done no less than 15 to 25 interviews about her teeth, but I mentioned it and I got a real mean email about it. So I
Oh,
apologize.
really mean. Like, what you said was one thing, and then they doubled down, and it was
Yeah.
mean towards you, and it
And
was
then I
unnecessary.
yeah, and then I apologized and asked for an apology back and didn't get one. What I got
Yeah,
was
you should have gotten an
mm,
apology back. That
but
was
it yeah. Um,
unnecessary.
anyway,
Also, I just wanna say I said nothing about her teeth because I don't like to comment on people's physical appearance anymore after I've gotten some emails, and also, I haven't seen this season yet, so I cannot comment.
she's a
Um,
beautiful girl with a banging body, and she's very fun and, trying to get her, like, her cranky old boyfriend to, be fun,
yeah,
and that's kind of the premise between the 2 of them is, like, he's always, like, cranky and sweaty. I mean, he's in Thailand maybe to commit a murder, it's not clear, and,
okay,
you don't know what the deal is, but she's just, like,
okay,
the fun young girlfriend and is always trying to, like, "Loosen up, let's have fun."
mhm,
And he's just like, "No, I got a mission here. I can't tell you what it is."
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
It's, really, really good. And so
I've
because,
heard great things about this season.
yeah, and
I
because
just haven't watched this season yet.
well, have you ever watched, Righteous Gemstones? Um,
Yes.
so Walter Goggins, the guy in it, is the cranky old man boyfriend of the pretty girl with the teeth.
Okay.
And so that's his role. He's like the angsty older gentleman that's dating this very young girl. Um, and then, they start to look around, they realize there's a lot of
It sounds
older
like
gentlemen.
Hilaria and Alec.
It does. It's similar. Maybe these are the kinds of shows I like. Um, but it's interesting, right? Because they look around when they're in Thailand and there's a lot of cranky old men with young women.
Uh,
You know, they've gone
yeah,
there to find a young woman
yeah.
to date. So, yeah, it's really good. And so, apologies to a fantastic, beautiful actress who will never know anything about me or listen to this podcast, but apologize to people that were offended. But no, no, but I'm just
Also,
sorry.
that's no reason to lash out. at
Hmm.
you.
Mhm. Also,
That
it's not
sounds
required. It's not required listening. It's on the free feed, so you didn't have to listen. You didn't have to
yeah,
pay to listen. Yeah,
yeah,
just turn it off.
yeah.
That's fine. Maybe I'm not for everybody. Um,
I'm
okay.
not for everybody. And I heard a quote once that changed my life, and it was, "Be proud of the fact that you're not for everybody."
Oh, that's nice.
Because if you were for everybody, that's so boring.
True. That's true.
That
Okay.
means you're like,
Basic. I'm pretty basic though.
I was trying to think of like who's for everybody. Wayne
Well,
Brady, who's great, and I love Wayne Brady. And
yeah.
actually, he has very interesting lifestyle and a
Yeah.
fascinating living situation. But I was just trying to think of somebody like who everybody likes, and it's
Doesn't everybody like Taylor Swift?
no. Are you kidding me?
I guess not everybody likes her. I don't know.
She's like one of the most hated women in America every other year.
Oh, well, okay. Everybody likes, let's think. Who is somebody everybody likes? Is it Julia Roberts? Jennifer
Ah,
Aniston?
there we go.
Uh-huh.
More
Everybody.
Jennifer Aniston, I think, than Julia Roberts. Yeah.
Halle Berry? Everybody seems to like
Mm,
her. No, not everybody likes her. Just
I
trying
don't
to think
think
of
so.
an amazing actress of our time that lays kind of low, doesn't draw too much attention to
Yeah.
themselves,
Yeah. Well, that
Hmm.
would be like Meryl Streep, but I think Meryl Streep is anything but vanilla. I think she's
Oh, that's right.
amazing.
She
She's
is.
she's
We're not gonna
magical.
we're not gonna come up with it. Okay, real quick. So I wasn't able to watch your live stream about Yellow Jackets that was on Sunday. Um,
No, it was not. It was our Patreon that was yesterday. I'm sorry, on Sunday.
oh, okay. And it wasn't about Yellow Jackets?
No.
Oh, okay. So you're
We
gonna
are
you're gonna
we
do like
skipped Yellow Jacket. We're kind of doing Yellow Jackets like every other week.
two at a time.
And
Okay, yeah.
we had our monthly Patreon live stream that we had to do, and it was just too much to do both.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, well then I didn't miss anything. I didn't
Well,
miss
you missed
anything.
our Patreon episode.
I'm sorry. I did. I was busy watching
I mean,
Ole Miss
it's not
basketball. Hotty toddy, gosh,
well,
Mahdi, who
that's
in the hell are we? Hey, blam, blam, bam, bam, Ole Miss by damn. Woo! We won Kimberly basketball. We're in the Sweet 16. Kimberly, it
congratulations.
hasn't happened since 2001.
Wow. That is a big deal.
It's a big deal. Sweet 16 is like, it's getting into the finals of the college basketball. It's a big
I
deal.
have heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. March Madness.
I went to a big sports school, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But I just didn't follow the sports at all. So
Yeah. Well, all right. So anyway, we're happy about that. So that's why. But I did watch Yellow Jackets, and I have not watched White Lotus yet. But I did watch Yellow Jackets on Friday night, like right when I was like, okay, I'm sitting down and watching Yellow Jackets. So
okay, I haven't seen it yet. I'm
what?
Yeah, I know, because I've been so busy with watching other things for other things. But
Yeah.
hopefully tonight I can watch it.
Okay.
Because I'm just so worried I'm going to get spoilers. But Katie is not watching it until next weekend when we do our live stream, because she's going to want to talk about it. And I'm going to say, wait, save it for the live stream,
Okay.
bitch.
Okay.
And but I won't say bitch.
No.
But I don't like when she tries to talk to me about things before we start recording. Like even when we're about to start recording, she'll start to try to talk to me. And I'm like, what are we doing here? We're doing a podcast. Save it for it for the recording.
Maybe that's why she sends me text. She'll say,
yeah,
okay. She's like, can I talk to you about this? I'm like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's so funny. Okay. Well, I've watched it. And next week, if you guys are going to do it again, I don't know if I'm out of town. I can't remember where I'm going. I had so many trips scheduled.
I think you're out of town next weekend. Chicago?
I think I've got Watch What
something?
Crappens on Saturday night. And then I think I leave on Monday morning, and I go Monday to Thursday to Chicago for Podcast Movement.
You're going to see Watch What Crappens live?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
It's going to be fun.
If you see them,
we will see them. We're going to go to lunch, I think.
Oh my God. Well, just say how obsessed I am with them again.
I will.
And I fawned over Ronnie, but I haven't gotten to meet Ben yet.
You didn't get to fawn over Ben. Yeah.
No. And he's one of my people. So
yeah, he's one of the people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Controls the weather with the satellites.
Space lasers. Yeah.
Space lasers.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
literally listen to them all day, every day. Like, I go back, I re-listen to seasons of Below Deck.
Oh, really? I don't go
Yeah.
back ever and listen to anything ever because I don't ever do a rewatch or anything like that. But, in the moment when I'm like, oh gosh, I just watched Real Housewives of Atlanta, I gotta go check in with Ben and Ronnie. Real Housewives of Atlanta, the new season is great. It's great.
Is it? I've only
It's
seen Salt Lake City.
there's only like four new people, which is hard to wrap your brain around when there's four new people. But we're doing it. We're jumping in. We're doing it.
Okay.
Got rid of a bunch of people. Okay, that'll be
Oh,
discussed on Thursday. I've got Julie and
it's
Brandy on Thursday coming to talk Pop and Bravo, everybody. So there you go.
which season did you say?
I said Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, is that Phaedra?
Yes, Phaedra's coming back, and Portia has come
Oh,
back.
okay.
Cynthia Bailey has come back,
Oh, wow.
and then we have Drew, who was there last season, and then we have four new people.
Wow.
It's a lot of people. A lot of people. But that's okay. It's really good so far. It's really good. We've got a lady that's like the queen of waffles, not to be outdone by Portia's ex, who's the hot dog king. And it's a lot. Drew's husband
Wow.
lives in her basement. Yeah, Shamia's got a $9 million house, and her husband's in HVAC. We're just like, what's happening?
What?
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. She was like, I'd like to say he's a Nigerian prince, but in fact, he's an HVAC. He bought her like a $280,000 Rolls Royce for her birthday.
Wow.
Can you imagine? A car, $280,000. It's crazy.
No, that's
No.
insane.
I don't think you should have a Rolls Royce unless somebody is driving you in it, like Patricia on Southern Charm. That makes sense. But if you're driving it yourself, what's the point? Just get a driver.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be really rich, just go ahead and be really rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about 90 Day Fiance. 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 6, Love Me or Leave Me. Okay. Let's start with Shekinah. Shekinah and Sarper. She's showing him around the apartment. He's like, you don't have bidet? You don't have bidet? So he's just arrived to the US and he says she's like a dictator. Do this, don't do this. Now she shows him the living space. Now we've seen the bottom of her apartment. So obviously her apartment is the bottom
Sorry, can I
level.
really quick pitch Katie's idea, bidet mate, which is the bidet that cleans you down under. And
it's so good.
it's so good. But then, and like Katie's been banking on this for her retirement. She somehow thinks she's going to get a patent and all this. I haven't had the heart to tell her. Someone sent us, it already exists.
It does.
It does.
Does it have a trademark?
I think so. Yeah. So she literally has this is her pipe dream that she's going to do this somehow.
She's going to have to actually do some work to make it happen, though. She can't just say it.
Want to do any work. She just wants to manifest it into the universe, and someone else will do all of the invention of the device and marketing and all that stuff.
She's the idea. She's the idea person.
Exactly.
Yeah, right,
exactly. Except her idea is counterfeit, and she could get sued. So, but I haven't had the heart to tell her, and I don't know when to tell her. It's just 2025 is not a good year in general. And so I just need to wait until it's a better time, I think, to tell her. So I'm just going to keep stringing her along on this.
Yeah. And she doesn't listen. So she won't hear.
She doesn't listen to this at all. No. Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking at the bidet. And so then she shows him the living space. Okay. So what it seems like to me is it's an open concept situation. So the downstairs is supposed to be the den kitchen.
Yes.
And there's a half bath there, I think. Then you come up and she has got the entire space filled with a bed. And then there's 2 closets in a bathroom. It all just seems very, where does her daughter sleep when she comes in the bed with her?
Okay. That's what was my biggest question in all caps. Her daughter lived there, where on the couch in the living room. So her daughter is shipped away to boarding school. Right. And then when she comes home, she doesn't even have a room to sleep in.
But there's no living room, really. There's like a little waiting room area.
There's a tiny couch. Yeah, there was like a very small couch.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a pullout, but you couldn't even pull it out because of the giant
the chairs.
Examining table thing.
Yeah, and upstairs, the bed fills the whole space, and she's got a tiny little area where she can do makeup and stuff, and she's got a little rolling rack of, like, her lingerie next to the bed, but it's all
Yeah,
open to
as you do.
below.
Yeah,
So it does make sense that he has to leave when she has clients because it's all open. So he can't
it's
sit
all
on the bed
open.
and watch TV or anything.
No. Maybe one of the closets is big enough that she could put a little chair in there and a little tiny laptop, and he can just watch TV with headphones on,
That'd
so
be
he
sad.
can't hear the clients.
That
Well,
would be sad.
we had what's his face, Clayton, that had his mom
Mm,
living in the closet, so
mhm.
put Sarper in the closet.
Never forget,
You've slept with 3,000 women, go in the closet.
never
You
forget
deserve it.
Ashley and Manuel, and he says, "Why mommy in closet?
Why mommy in
Why?
closet?
Why?" So anyway, it's confusing, and I think that, yeah, if you were a single person living there, it's lots of space, but she's right,
It's
2
a
people is tight.
It's very I think it's tight for one person too. It's extremely tight for one person and a business,
Mhm.
because the business is a whole 'nother person that's living there
And like a
with
king
a
size bed. Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
huge bed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So anyway, I just was very, maybe we could take a
So
picture of the
confused.
outside of it and somebody could tell us where they
Is
live and
she
then
on
give us like a comp
social? Because maybe someone has asked her on Instagram and maybe she's answered, like, where her daughter sleeps.
or how does she move
Maybe
about?
the daughter sleeps on the examining table.
Maybe she and the daughter sleep together, but
Yeah,
that's fine.
that's true too.
That's fine. It's a big
But
bed.
then burn that I don't want if I'm the daughter, I don't wanna sleep in a bed that is surely gonna be covered in Sarper's,
Fluids. Okay.
fluids all the time.
So she buys him a back scratcher so he won't have to rub his back on the wall. We get the whole clip about him scratching his back because it's hairy because he didn't have any women to wax his back. And that is a testament to the fact that he's not cheating because he would invite these women over to bone and be like, hey, just real quick, will you wax my back?
Also,
Weird.
just go to a
Yeah, go to a place.
place and they'll
Yeah,
do it. Also, he doesn't need the back scratcher if she'll wax his back. So,
that's right. Right. But anyway, I guess his back gets itchy when he gets waxed. Okay. So she's like, now, because I've been gone and whenever I get back from Turkey, like I'm really busy catching up with my clients. And it's talking to Ed, he's like, I'm realizing this place is gonna be too small for us. Like it's gonna
yeah.
no, she says, sorry, she says she's
Yeah.
realizing the place is gonna be too small. And talking to Ed, he says, I wish she would have told me how small it was because it's like a red flag. She didn't tell me how tiny this place is going to be. And I don't have any space. And he goes, but hopefully it's going to be okay and I'll get used to it by the time the 90 days is up. They get in the bed and he says, you will be the first girl that I fuck in the United States. Oh, that's so romantic.
So sweet. Dreams,
So,
romance is alive.
yeah. So he says, for my first day, my fantasy is to be Baywatch on the beach. And they put on their Baywatch outfits and they go to the beach and he says, "Bitches of LA, are you ready for Sarper?" And she goes, "No, honey, you can't say bitches. You sound like you're saying bitches." And he goes, "I'm saying it, bitches of LA." And she's like, "Beaches, beaches." And he's like, "Beaches, bitches." It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then he runs along the beach and he says, Sarper Hasselhoff. And he says, when he was young, he was bullied for being overweight, and Baywatch gave him the confidence to be who he is today with a high body count. Then we get a fake Baywatch promo, which was kind of dumb, but funny.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Um, Also, there are beaches in Turkey, so I don't
Mhm.
know. They're
Well,
beautiful beaches in Turkey,
he
but
wants to do an LA
he
beach. He wanted to see the lifeguard stand. He wanted to get the whole experience.
okay. Are
Um,
there not lifeguard stands in Turkey?
maybe they look different because, like the lifeguard stands on the beaches I went to my whole life in Florida, they don't look like that at all.
Gotcha.
Look very different in California. So he says, yeah, it's great here. Like, I love this. So, like, when you're working, I could just like come down to the beach. Like, what's not to love? And she's like, you could just walk around the neighborhood. It's like all day. she says, we need to build up trust. And then they did this whole thing about like she doesn't trust him. And he says she's got no reason to because he's told her he'll never cheat on her, whatever. But all I could focus on when they're having this conversation is that she is wearing a bra under her swimsuit.
Is she?
Yes. Because when she's sitting like this, I saw something kind of in the armpit. And I thought, I wonder if it was like a mic, like a flesh colored like mic strand. But then from the back, they're showing her it's a full bra strap, like a beige bra strap next to the bathing suit strap.
What is
She's wearing
she
a
doing?
bra under her swimsuit.
Okay,
I don't know.
that's
Maybe she needed more support, but that's why she didn't get in the water.
fascinating.
And they talk about the trust some more, and I think it's all fake, so I don't care.
She won't even let him go to the beach when she is in that apartment all day with clients.
I think everything is fine and it's all fake. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay. We're moving on to your people now. It's Mark and Mina. And I told you before we started that it does look like next week they actually go to Bald Head Island. And so once they actually go to Bald Head Island and I have some evidence to show my people on Bald Head Island, maybe then somebody can give me the scoop.
Okay.
But just from being in Southport, I got nothing.
In case you were all worried at home, as
Everybody,
was I.
Worried. And also
take a breath. They are going to Bald Head Island.
Did you see the thing that I sent you on Instagram, which was that Jordan's fiance, boyfriend on this episode, now fiance, is apparently related or is a big, huge, famous NFL thing? I'll look it up. Because
he's related to an NFL thing. Person.
And since you and I know nothing about that, I'm going to look it up right now to tell it to you. It was from Shabuti. Shabuti says, Jordan is engaged to Gabe Neighbors. Once they get married, Jordan, Mark's daughter, is going to be NFL star wide receiver Malik Neighbors' aunt. So this guy, Gabe, his nephew, Malik Neighbors, played college football at LSU and now plays for the New York Giants in a first-round draft pick, which means he's really, really good.
How old is his nephew? Isn't he like 30 or 25?
Okay. How old is Malik?
That means that he has one of those second marriages age gap things in his family.
How old is Malik Neighbors? Malik Neighbors is 21. And, Jordan is 27. Let's see. How old is Gabe? So how is Gabe Neighbors, this kid's uncle? Maybe Gabe is like 40 something.
He does not look 40 something, but I'm thinking he's like 30.
Gabe Neighbors, and here he is. He's a football player too. He's 27. He's the same age.
So he has a nephew that's 6 years younger than him. So he has some age gapping in his family as well. Or maybe an older sibling just happened to have kids later in life or earlier in life.
Look what we learned on the Baldwins this week. The baby Alliya is 5 months older than her niece, which is baby something else. Holland?
But my point is that last week Jordan was being such a bitch and like, what if I have a kid and you have a kid at the same time and they'll be the same age? That's so weird.
Yeah.
And like Gabe is 6 years older than his nephew only.
That's right.
So calm down, Jordan. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I wonder why people think that they're not brothers. Now, this is as Shabuti said that their nephew. It's why do they think they're not? Let me look up Gabe Neighbors Wikipedia. Okay, I'm gonna look him up.
This is so boring for people.
I know it is. I'm sorry. Personal life. Neighbor's nephew Malik played college football in LSU and plays for the New York Giants. Crazy. That's true. Okay. Weird. Don't care. Let's continue. Let's talk about Mark and Mina. Sorry for that boring sidebar. Let's go.
So this has been a sports edition, ESPN. El Ocho. So Jordan leaves Mina and calls her dad over and makes her boyfriend, they make her boyfriend Gabe watch the baby, and he looks terrified. Because he's only 6 years older than his nephew, so he doesn't have experience watching babies. And she's like, Dad, your woman told me not to come to the wedding. And he's like, what? And like, she's telling just her side of the story.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't saying horrible things.
Yeah, right.
And Jordan says, she says she wants more kids, even though I told her how I felt. So if you guys are going to disregard the way I feel, then maybe I shouldn't come to the wedding anyway.
This is crazy. I hope this is fake, because surely she can't be this much of a biatch.
Who told her she gets a vote in this situation?
Exactly. Yes.
So I if this is real, I blame her parents. I blame Mark and her dad for making her feel like she is the most specialist person in the world, and she gets to decide what everyone else around her does.
Mark
and that it's all about her happiness.
Yes.
And not anyone else's.
Yes.
Unless it's fake, and then she's doing a good job.
And then she should be nominated for an Emmy. Yes.
Yeah. So Mark apologizes for telling the ladies what each other said, and he keeps admitting, I totally messed up. And Jordan says, well, maybe that's a sign you shouldn't get married.
No, that's not what that's a sign of. It's that's a sign not that he doesn't know how to handle this.
Yeah. And so he's a people pleaser. And so she says, there's a lot of red flags you're brushing over. And meanwhile, Maria is off crying by herself on the beach, like sad music. And she's like, I left my family and my son. So if she doesn't accept me, she doesn't come to the wedding. And meanwhile, Mark is saying, well, if she doesn't want you at the wedding, maybe we won't get married. And it's like,
none of this is, by the way, you're completely, and maybe you're going to say it, but I think you missed it, that the baby is walking around with this 27-year-old guy watching her.
Yeah.
Who doesn't seem to know what to do with children, walking in front of a sign that says, beware of alligators.
I missed.
You miss? She's standing in front of the sign that is the same height as her that says, beware of alligators. Because there are, in fact, alligators everywhere. As you know, I love them. I love to look for the alligators from a distance, from a respectful distance. But she's standing in front of a sign that is her same height that says, beware of alligators.
And they eat babies.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They love a baby. They love a dog. Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. An alligator.
I was more concerned that the baby is like waddling by the shoreline. And I was like, maybe water isn't the best place to have someone babysit a little baby for the first time, where she could just wander into that water and then take to the sea. But like, I didn't even think about an alligator.
Yeah. And it would be quick. It would be quick. It would be swift, and they wouldn't notice.
All he has to do is just look down at his phone. He's on like Instagram all the time and not pay attention. Yeah. Oh my God. So Jordan says maybe she'll divorce you and take the baby back to Paris. So does she want to stay in the US, or does she not? Like, is she using him for a green card, or is she not using him for a green card? Jordan, make up your mind.
And again, she lives in Paris.
Paris. Who wants to leave Paris? So she says, she's closer to my age than yours. And he says, I'm just trying to be happy. I fell in love with someone younger. It happens. And Jordan says, I would be so much more comfortable if you found someone older who lives in the US. And Mark is like, it's too late for that. What do you want me to do? Break up with her and then find someone that fits your parameters? And Jordan's like, no, because you already have a baby with her. So then what do you want?
What do you want? Right. Exactly.
She goes, so just don't have any more babies. Okay. Because I've decided that 2 is crossing the line. And I've barely dealt with 1, and 2 will change everything. I don't understand this. It's like, once you have a dog and then you get another dog, like, yeah, it's more work to have 2 dogs, but like, it's not as exponentially hard as it is to just get 1 dog. Like, once you go from 0 to 1, that's a bigger step to then 1 to 2. And so Jordan is making it sound like 2 is like, will change everything. But they already have a child together. That changed everything. But the cameras were not rolling when they had the first baby. Right. The cameras are rolling now.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. And she's not very nice.
She's not very nice. She's very pretty though. So Mark is like, should I break up with her? And she's like, no, just don't have any more babies. And he says, you're trying to dictate my happiness and change things that are already done. And Jordan says, I'm not telling you how to live your life, which
Yes, you are.
is
That's exactly what
exactly
you're
what
doing.
I'm doing. I'm just telling you that I might not be around as much if you make this choice. And so she's like, I'm taking my boyfriend who doesn't speak and we're going to leave. And Mark is like, Jordan, you're leaving? We were supposed to spend the day together.
But
The
where?
day is
On the
on the
shore of
beach with the alligators. The beach, the day has been ruined. You can't,
right.
like, does he think they're just all now going to go to lunch? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and he's hot too. He's hot. He's like, I'm hot and old and I want to get off this hot beach. But I
yeah.
did see the Bald Head Island ferry go in the background. That made me happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this has been Bald Head Island Watch with Mary Payne.
That's right.
So he's like, you're leaving? Why are you leaving? Why wouldn't she leave? So then Jordan walks off with Gabe, who does seem like a supportive guy. He's like, what's happening? Is it okay? You know,
Yeah.
I hope that baby doesn't get eaten by an alligator back there.
Because
So
nobody's watching it now that I've left.
nobody's.
Yeah.
So then Mark goes to Mina and says, did you tell her not to come to the wedding? And she says, yes. Yes, I did.
Mhm.
And Mark says, I need you guys to talk. And she's like, I came for you. I did not come to get along with your whole family. And he says, well, I got mad at her too because she was judging me. So it's not just like you I'm mad at. I was mad at her too. And I know I started this by telling you guys what each other said, but you need to fix it. And then I noticed that poor Mark is hobbling with a knee brace on. Did you notice?
I noticed his knee brace. Granddad's got a knee brace, y'all.
Granddad has a knee brace chasing around his toddler baby on the beach with Alligator. He can't fight off an alligator. So
No, absolutely
he's
not.
not as spry as he used to be. So they're arguing, and Maria, the baby, is like crying and she's so fussy. And she's like, I wish you left me in that airplane yesterday and I fly back to Paris and get away from you, nincompoops. That was French accent. That's just, I'm imagining what her thought process was. Imbeciles. She sounds like Pepe Le Pew in my mind. And she's she's just done with these parents, like done with the whole family.
Yeah,
And
she is.
then so they go back to the hotel room and they're still arguing. And then Mark like slams the bathroom door and says, it wasn't supposed to go like this.
Yeah, Mark.
Like a toddler. Like
The Jordan thing, I don't know. Is it real? Is it fake? I don't know. We'll probably
I
be
don't
able to
know.
tell more on the reunion, but that God knows that's probably 12 months away. So,
I just have to say, I think they wanted to be the next Family Chantel or Family Libby and Andre, and it's not working out. It's not interesting enough for a spinoff yet, guys. You got to step it up.
Oh, yeah. No, not at all. Not anywhere close. No.
But I think Mina and Jordan are in cahoots to make this happen.
Okay, yeah, I think so too.
But I don't know why Mina, who's this beautiful Parisian woman, would want a spinoff on TLC, but maybe she does.
Well, once she is in the States, she'll get paid because she doesn't get paid when lives in France. TLC doesn't pay the foreigners.
Right. But there's no plot unless she comes here. And so she's like, we all get along. I think they get along and they are faking it for the show.
I think so too. But maybe they plotted that at the baby shower she was 14 hours late for.
Yeah.
All righty. Let's talk about Matt and Amani and Ani. Okay. Together, the talking it together, Amani says she's saying she feels disrespected, about Ani and Matt having sex when she was having Montezuma's revenge in the bathroom. They were doing it. And they're all together at this beautiful hotel. And Ani says, I feel sad. And Amani goes, this is like my nightmare, this situation. It's like in my nightmare. Well, get in your car and leave. You're 45 minutes from home. What are you talking about? I mean,
go take care of your children. Because your nanny says that you're horrible parents and should have your children taken away on Instagram or wherever she posted that.
Yes. All right. And Ani says, I feel bad because it's our first fight and it's complicated. And honestly, I don't need Oh, sorry, guys. I haven't had enough caffeine. I'm yawning. Sorry. And she says, oh, but you know what I've got? I've got Kimberly's caffeine mints over here. I'll take one.
Mhm.
And she says she doesn't need fights in her life, and she will prefer to go back to her home if there's going to be fighting. And Ani asks Matt, how do you feel? And he goes, well, I expressed myself last night and you guys like teamed up on me.
Yeah.
And then we go back and forth about Matt should have told because Ani told that they have sex, but then Matt didn't tell. And even if he thought she already knew, it's so stupid.
But, like,
And
also she wanted them to have asked for permission
right.
beforehand too.
Be
Like, knock on the bathroom.
yeah,
Hello.
hi, I know you're pooping, but do you mind if we just get it on while it sounds like you're going to be in there a while. Also, do you have any
Please
poopery?
flush
Please
a
flush.
lot,
Lot.
because
You have any
the pipes here are not
matches?
that great in the hotel, so,
Yeah, so we're just that's making us feel very amorous in the other
we're
room. We're
the
feeling
sounds of you retching and pooping are making us horny. Is
yeah,
that
so
cool with you?
is that cool? Make sure you're brushing your teeth too. So they go back and forth. So Amani says, so you walked into our relationship of 10 years where we already had problems, and now those problems are just resurfacing. And this is a lot on me.
They already had problems, so why are you bringing in another person? That's not gonna fix it. That's
Nope,
like having a baby
it's
to
like
fix
having
a
a baby.
relationship.
And the talking head, Amani and Matt together.
Get a dog.
They're together, and she's like, you know, I don't know who I am without you, and what would I do? I mean, it's every bit of this is fake, and I hate it, and I hate that I chose to cover them. So
The only thing I like about them is that Amani, Minnie, he calls her a Minnie, which
but her
is
name is
doesn't
Amani. Yes.
it's Amani, or a Many, I don't even know. She does wear, like, natural eyelashes, and I'm so used to it's so startling because 'cause I'm so used to seeing, like, big Phaedra fake eyelashes on everybody
Uh-huh.
that, because everyone's trying to look like a blow-up doll on TV,
Yeah.
but I
Uh-huh.
was very happy that she has natural eyelashes because everything about her else seems very fake, but her eyelashes are real.
Well, I'm gonna have to research that a little bit because they look very long to me.
Well, they're long, but they're not like those heavy
Oh no. Uh-uh.
big, huge ones that flap and, like,
Yeah.
flutter and, like, birds fly away when they, like, start blinking.
We had some really big ones on Love After Lockup this week, like so big. I took a picture. I'll show it to you.
Like,
Um,
well, how
like
is that comfortable? You can't even see, like, the Phaedra of
yeah,
it on Traders when she's trying to murder someone on Traders and can't even see. She can't even lift her eyelashes. Oh, yeah. That's too much.
yeah. I
That
even
can't be comfortable.
I did like a little
That
let's
can't
see.
be comfortable.
Look
Oh, boy. Yeah.
at her. And she's so cute. You're just like, oh girl, what are you doing? Okay, all right, that's eyebrow corner. Okay, so they're all like, we should talk to each other more. We need to communicate. So the next scene, Matt tells Ani, so they're on the bed, and he tells Ani, he goes, you seem peppier than yesterday. She's like, what? He goes, you seem peppier. You've got more pep. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes,
Yeah.
she doesn't understand that word.
No.
And he says, you seem happier than before. And she goes, I don't understand. He says, you seem more happy. And she goes, oh, that's because I ate food, because I'm very happy when I eat food. And I was like, yeah, all of us.
Good luck with communication in
Yeah,
this
right.
relationship.
You're right. And then she says, give me a kiss. And he kind of grabs her face and kisses her. And she's like, oh, she goes, that's the way you kiss me? Oh my gosh. And he says, well, I guess I fuck better than I kiss. What's with
Okay,
these people? Come
I
on.
can't.
Ah,
Also, he's such like a type
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Like he
Mhm,
just seems like a dumb, like like a
mhm.
golden retriever. I
Yes.
just like I don't see this sexy can handle two women in bed vibe
I
from him.
I don't either. I don't either. So maybe that's why he's trying to talk like that. Like, look at me.
Yeah.
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 So apparently they're going on a picnic in full long evening gowns and coats.
Yeah.
Okay. So they go to this picnic on the beach. They sit on a blanket. They have wine and food. They're both in full length gowns. And they talk about the rules. And she goes, well, I'm going to be the note taker. So she gets out her phone and says she's going to put the rules in their group chat so that
Okay.
they all know what the rules are.
Yeah.
And they've been
This
dating her
is
a
the
year.
first time they are
Yeah.
discussing this.
Yeah, they've been dating her a year, and he wants to marry her and divorce his wife, but sure. Okay. So, Amani asked Ani what your rule would be, and she goes, "We can fight all night. I don't care, but you don't go to bed angry." And Matt says, "Okay, my rule would be give me a chance to talk because you just talk and you just talk, and I never get a chance." And he
No,
goes,
you're the man. You don't get a chance to
"Yeah."
talk.
And she's like, "Okay, let Matt have a say."
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
and Amani says her rule would be, um, I need to know. She doesn't say a rule. She just says, "Is everyone allowed to just have sex without the other's permission?" And she goes, "I don't want to be restrictive, but I gotta say, like, I did feel the jealousy and felt disrespected when you guys had sex and didn't tell me. So I'd like to be in the know." So he goes, "So you're saying you want us to ask you permission?" And she says, "Yes." And so he goes, "Okay, then." And she says, to Matt, "So it's the same for me and Ani." He goes, "No, I don't care. Just have fun. Don't don't wake me up for that. No, I don't care."
No. Mm-mm.
And they're all like, "Oh my God, we made such progress. We made 3 rules. Group kiss, blah, blah, blah." And the talking head, Amani says, "The next big problem," because she's always got to have a problem. She's "The next big problem is Ani hasn't told her family. She said Matt is her boyfriend and I'm just a friend and I feel like a secret." Mm,
Mm.
the end. I hate them. Okay.
Yeah. No one cares.
Let's move on to Greg and Joan. Now,
Oh,
this was fun this week with these two.
this was very fun. I missed them last week.
Me too. I did
So,
too.
again, he gets like hip hop music during his intro, and I do not understand every
Maybe that's his
time.
vibe. That's his vibe, and
Yeah,
we just don't know it. Yeah.
on Long Island.
Mhm.
So he's driving around Long Island telling her how far it is to England. And she says, "So people go there by boat?" And he says, "They used to, like the Titanic, but that didn't end well." It's
You
just
can. Whenever I'm
you
looking at
can, I'm sure
cruises,
you can.
there's cruises out of New York that go all the way over to England,
Yeah.
Ireland, all that stuff. Now, that's not for me, but it's like 16 days.
Transatlantic crossing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
not for
down for
me.
that.
Not for me.
Uh, So she's just excited to be out of Lucille's house. So
Yeah.
she's just like, "Long Island, I love it. Let's just be outside." And they have the 2 dogs. And she says, "I like Daisy, but Lily keeps giving me the side eye." So Lily has an attitude problem. And so he takes her to some like bay and they're walking the dogs on the pier. And he's teaching her how to walk a dog for the first time because she's never walked a dog. She says, "It's kind of weird, but I like it."
Hmm.
Again, we're out of Lucille's house. So I'm so happy.
I'll do whatever
So,
you ask. Yeah.
yeah. So they had their second night together the night before and they still didn't have sex
Mhm.
because she's nervous that if they start, Lucille will have some like sex spidey sense and just be like, "My son is boinking upstairs. Knock it off." So not in my house. So she wants to move out soon, like 6 months as
Mhm.
at the farthest end. And he says, "I don't know, it could be like a year or 2." And she had no idea. And she's not sure if she would have come if she had known it could be 2 years.
Yeah.
So he's just doesn't want to waste money on rent.
Mhm.
And he also has debt
Sorry.
because his car broke and he paid for her visa and flights to visit her. I don't know why he's spending all of it. Like she has a good job.
But
So,
and why didn't he have a job when he was doing all that?
right. And
If you're doing all of that, you should have a job. Yeah.
yeah, he's $8,000 in debt, and she didn't know that it was that big, and she thinks that that's crazy, and she says, "I thought people in America were stable, but they aren't." And I was like, "No, they're not, because
Mm-mm.
everyone is lying to you."
Mhm.
And so she says, "How are we going to pay for the wedding? How much does a wedding cost here?" And he says, "I don't know, like a lot. I have no idea." And he says, "Well, I think we could save money for the wedding. We'll do a lot of cooking. My mom will help." So it's just like
Okay.
going to be lots of meatballs and bread with forehead sweat in it. And it's just going to be amazing. So she says, "It's once in a lifetime a wedding. So I do want a pretty dress like that. I really do want to spend money on." But she's gorgeous. She could get a dress at David's Bridal for like on the sales rack, I think,
Yeah.
and be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
So he says, "I don't know, like maybe we could spend like $500." And I didn't know if was that on the dress or the whole wedding.
I hope that's the dress
I
and
thought
not
so
the whole
too, but
wedding.
I think that might be what he thinks they can spend for the whole wedding.
And so the dress is to cost $25? Like what?
Right. That's
Okay.
I don't know where. There's no location on Long Island that you could get. You couldn't have a location. You'd have to be outside, like at a park or something.
Between this show this week and the Baldwins, I learned a lot about Long Island because Alec Baldwin on that show is giving us all the facts about Long Island as well.
Yeah.
They're a proud people, those Long Islanders.
He says, I get that things have to change and I have her to think about now. So now I have to be a grown up. And he says, I have several job interviews lined up.
Good.
Okay, but you had an offer for a job that you turned down.
He didn't want to work for the state of New York. He didn't want it.
He says, I realize I can work long hours knowing that I can come home to your embrace. She's like, great, your sweaty embrace. And
she loves him.
She loves him. And big mook, I love him. And so I don't know. She doesn't. I hope she starts talking like that. I think that would be very fun.
Is mook offensive?
It be because then apologies.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that a slur? I really don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
Please look it up.
Just make sure we don't have to cut
poor
it out.
Ingrid. Poor Ingrid's gonna have to cut it out. So she says, if things don't change, I'm gonna have to go back to Uganda. Like, I can't deal with this. I don't want to be poor here. I didn't come to America to be poor. So that night she is it offensive?
Well, all I can find is there's a artist named Mookie the Don, and he has an album called Big Mook.
Okay.
His Instagram is Big Mook Chillin'. So
that's who I was referring to.
He has 1,000 followers on Instagram, so I don't think. Okay, it is Big Mook. Hey, bad thing.
Listen, I'm really sorry. I didn't know.
It means on Reddit it says, "What does mook mean? I swear y'all be making new slang up by the minute." That's what it says. And it says the word mook has been around New York for a long time, and it means sus. And it says,
I don't think it means sus.
It's sus, and it says, the first person says, "There's no way you're from New York and you never heard the word mook." And then they said it's short for a slur that means a gay man.
No, absolutely not. The
and
meaning
this
of
one says
mook, according to Merriam-Webster, is foolish, insignificant, or contemptible person.
Okay, well, there's some very, very, very trashy things on this New York State of Mind. What does it mean to say the word mook?
So apologies if you found that offensive, everyone.
Okay,
at least I didn't mention someone's teeth. So
oh my God, Kimberly, whose side are you on?
I'm on yours. Obviously.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Joan is like, if things don't change, I'm going back to Uganda. So that night she puts on a sexy dress for him. And I was like, oh yes, Joan, you better earn that Long Island bedroom in his mom's house.
She looks great.
She's so gorgeous. Yeah. And you better earn those neckbeard biscuits, Joan, with that sexy dress. And and then we are continuing with the plot line of fattening Joan up because she thinks she's gained weight in the 8 days she's been there. Yeah, it said 8 days at this point now.
I know, but we just said it was the second night.
We just said it was her second night. So are we jumping ahead? Unsure. So they're going to meet his friends so that he can show them that she isn't a made-up girl from Canada. They're not sure if they believe him. And there's several Johns that they're going to meet. One was a guy he went to school with, and one I met at my cousin John's tire shop. I met this one John at my cousin John's tire shop. And so she says, how many Johns do you know? And he's like, starts counting, and he's like, I don't, and he's like 7, 8 at least. So she's just baffled that there are so many Johns here. So they go to this little waterfront place, and we meet John, Jon, and John, John. And the one with an H has like a Pearl Jam look. And the other, Yeah, and the other one looks like a male Rachel Maddow. And so they cannot believe that Joan is real. And they're so nice, these guys. Like, they're very welcoming to her.
Yeah.
And they ask, like, how is it different from where you were from? And she says, it's cleaner here than where I'm from. And they're like, in John's bedroom? Really? Is it? I mean, in Greg's bedroom? I just called him John.
Because everybody's John.
Everybody's John. So John says they used to cut school and go lawn forking growing up. And I did not know.
I've never, first of all, I thought he was saying lawn twerking. And I was like, does that mean you go on somebody's lawn and ring the doorbell and then you're just twerking?
That seems like a great prank. I love that.
That seems a little more fun. I've never
fun
heard
and
of
harmless.
Forking. Never heard of forking.
So you place a bunch of plastic forks in someone's lawn. No idea for what.
Fork up or fork down?
Or fork down.
Yeah. And why?
My instinct said fork up, twines up. But then now that I'm thinking about it, twines into the soil makes much more sense.
Also seems like a bad use of plastic.
It's very wasteful. Because if you're not reusing those forks, then that is extremely wasteful and plastic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Killing the environment with your forking. Yeah. So John says that John, John, says Greg is magnetic. He has a magnetic personality.
Okay. Him?
Okay. So he won prom king, but John with the H says it might have been a joke.
Oh, that made me sad.
Or because he was popular. I just don't know. He honestly doesn't know if that was a joke or if it was for realsies.
I think he's trying to tell us that it was a joke, but then he's trying to say that second thing that's nice, like as a compliment sandwich. But and that makes me sad for him.
Was there pig's blood involved?
Stop. No, it's not that far. No.
Like, why would they do that to Greg? He seems just like a normal, like Long Island guy. Like, I don't think.
Yeah, he seems fun.
What would they do that as a joke? Because he's a bigger guy. That's why.
Maybe.
I'm unhappy.
I don't like it either because high school kids are mean.
Horrible. Yeah. So John says that Greg's sense of humor is a defense mechanism for his insecurities. And he does have a lot of insecurities, which we already knew.
Yeah, we already know.
And we're probably compounding them by constantly making fun of his beard.
He's sweat into
bread.
Sweat into the sourdough is not great. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the that is the what's his face? What's his name?
I don't know.
Sweat into the oldies.
Oh, Richard Simmons. I was going to say that's the name of Greg's
new album.
That's the name of Greg's autobiography, which is Sweat in the Sourdough.
Sweat in the Sourdough. Or it could be the name of his new bakery. We don't know. I don't know if he has a name yet. I bet he's just going to call it Jones.
Oh, that's cute, Kimberly.
Well, there's a Jones on 3rd in LA, and so I think that may be where I got that idea. But
TM.
Cute. So Jones on Long Island. So Greg says, so how long are you going to stay at Lucille's? We all know Lucille. She's fed us since our childhood.
Yeah.
She's tough. She's tough, though. We wouldn't want to live with her. And Joan says, well, I was hoping for 3 months. And now she's gone from 6 months to 3 months.
Yeah.
And Shawn says, okay, so how are you going to achieve that? You kind of have to talk to Greg like he's like a child. Okay, you want to get a paper route? What are the steps to achieving that?
Route. Do that. Something.
Paper
anything.
route.
Money.
Yeah. So Greg is feeling overwhelmed. He's like, I'm going to go jump in the water because everyone's just ganging up on him. And Greg says, well, my dream is the bakery. And John says, okay, is the bakery better or is a better place to live for you as a couple more important? Which one is more important? And, you're not some trust fund Nepo baby. You're Lucille's baby, grown baby. And so maybe a steady income stream would be good. And Greg tells us, well, they're all ribbing me and it's fine. But, I did travel to Uganda and the food and the place we stayed did cost money. How
But
expensive is Uganda?
but also that was like last year. So
Yeah.
you used every bit of your savings of your whole life that you got from high school graduation for this trip to Uganda. Like you've never had a job to make any more money ever?
Right. And you've never paid rent.
You've
So,
never paid rent that we know of, right?
yeah. So, I want to know how much the place they stayed at in Uganda cost.
Not much. Not
And
much.
does she never chip in? Like,
Right.
he wants to treat her like a princess, but that
She's
doesn't
got this
work
great
if you
job or
don't.
whatever.
She has a job and
Yeah.
you don't.
Right.
So John says, "What's the end goal for you guys?" And Greg says, "Well, I want as many kids as she'll give me, like 10."
Just we're nowhere near that if you can't get a job and get an apartment. I mean, what are you
Those
talking about?
children are gonna be like ragamuffins running in the street with no shoes, like just begging for food because you
No,
have nothing. Like they're just gonna eat bread all the time.
Joan won't let that happen.
No,
No,
she absolutely won't. She will leave him if that
I
happens.
think so.
Like,
I think so.
so she says he says 10, she says 2, and then he says, "I'll settle for 4." And she says, he doesn't save money. He's broke. I'm sleeping in his mom's house. And they all start laughing at
Yeah.
Greg and they're all just like pointing and laughing at Greg. And Greg is not enjoying it. He's gone far enough with the ribbing and he's
Yeah.
done. So John tells us that he's always told Greg, "Why don't you take a good union job?" There are many opportunities he turned down because he didn't want to work for someone else. And he needs to think realistically if he wants kids. And I was like, can Joan run off with John with an H? Because
Mm,
John with an H does have a Pearl Jam look, but he thinks realistically and he has a job. So
I thought John with no H had the Pearl Jam look. I thought the first
I could have
I thought
had them swapped.
you
That's
could have
totally possible.
I thought first John that we met with the Pearl Jam
First John
look.
he's the one who speaks the most. The
Right.
Rachel Maddow John does not speak almost at all. Like I don't think he said 2 words the whole time.
Oh, I'm laughing. Yeah.
So John, the Pearl Jam John, is worried that Joan will leave Greg. Like he literally is like, she'll leave him. She's too good for him. And I say that as he's one of my best friends. She's too good for him. And I'm gonna steal her if he no.
I mean,
He doesn't say that.
She's
But
already here, so yeah.
she's our so this is not good. And
No.
apparently Greg has turned down multiple jobs in the past that were
We
good
keep hearing of jobs that
jobs.
he's turning down.
Wow.
Just be like, "I'm gonna get this job. I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna commit to it for 2 years so we can
Yeah.
save enough money to move out in 6 months,
Yeah.
and then I'll have that job for another year and a half where we can save money, and then meanwhile, she'll get her green card and she can get a job, and they can work towards their goals, but
Mhm.
you have to get money to get money. Like, you can't just yeah, you
You
gotta
have
have a
to
job, get another job.
uh-huh. And you have to sacrifice to make your dreams come true.
Yeah,
You can't just make your dreams come true without any hard work.
that's
So
right.
and
Yeah.
he's making a lot of money doing the plumbing, I think, but I think actually he's mostly doing it as like favors and stuff for like
Yeah. So that's
so
probably the union job he was talking about.
y-
Like, I could get him a job at
yeah,
the
if he
plumbers
got
union. Yeah.
mhm.
Makes no sense.
No.
Makes no sense.
No.
Okay, we will move on to Shawn and Alliya, and he's cleaning the house. He says, oh, I wonder if that means Anna's home because now the dog's gonna bark. Sorry, everybody. He's cleaning the house. He says Alliya is a germaphobe, and we get some details about that. Are you gonna stand at the top of the stairs and bark, or could you possibly go down?
No.
Okay, I think
Too much work.
okay. Um, seems like Alliya has a 13-hour layover in Panama. Is that what she said?
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
horrible.
I was like, who booked that ticket?
That's horrible.
I wonder if it's like, I'm going to use all my points. So you got to do a 13-hour layover in Panama. Go see Jasmine's children. She hadn't seen them in 2 years.
Is Dan there? 'Cause
What about Don?
you could totally hook up with Don and be way better. Like just
Don was so cute.
so
Um,
cute.
so now he's headed to the airport with the dog Maxwell. Maxwell is such a fluffy doggy. I want to eat
I
that
want that
dog.
dog. I
That
want
dog
to
is
eat.
so cute.
And it's a big dog, but he's liked because it's mostly
Mhm,
fluff, so he can just
mhm,
pick him up and cradle him like a
yeah,
giant sheepdog.
yes,
So cute.
so cute. And he says, I'm a little worried that Alliya might think I'm holding her back since I'm going to be like really the only person in the US that ever knew Douglas before Douglas became Alliya. And I do worry, yeah, that things could go sideways. But we're just going to have to see how much of the persona that Alliya will play into our happily ever after. I didn't like he said the persona of Alliya.
Yeah. No, that's who she is now,
That's who she is
and
now. Yeah.
yeah. And also you knew that last time, and
Right.
maybe it's too soon, maybe you should have had a couple more trips
Yeah.
of hanging
Yeah.
out with Alliya. They've literally only had one trip where she's
Where
been
she was Alliya
Alliya
the whole time.
the
Yeah.
whole time. Like, that's crazy. Also, did you know Alliya was a nurse?
No. Did she say that?
So it's Shawn said she's very into cleanliness and she's a nurse. And I was like, "What?"
What?
I am imagining a TikTok and someone is coding in the background and Alliya just comes on and starts twerking like as the person's coding in the background.
And Alliya has like this sexy nurse outfit.
Yeah,
Like it would be like for like a Halloween costume. And she's like, I'm here
totally.
for your
And the long
exam. Yeah.
extensions and
Yeah.
like just like boop boop twerking. So
Ah, I
funny.
love that.
Unless I
So
misheard that, because I did not remember that at all from Love in Paradise, that
yeah, I
she
mean
was a nurse.
he says she's a germaphobe, and he just kind of says, I just wrote he says she's a germaphobe and
I'm
gives
gonna
you
look it up
details.
just to make
Okay.
sure.
Okay. So Alliya arrives and they cry and so the dog is there and she's like, "Okay, all right." And then she says, "Okay, the dog. She says, "The baby's good, but the baby makes me nervous with all the licking. Okay. Gonna have to adapt." And I kept thinking
Yeah.
like, I hope they have those paw wipes, like right when you come in the door to wipe the dog's paws,
Oh,
like we
yeah.
do for our dogs. Otherwise, that would make her crazy with the dirt.
Well, it doesn't rain a lot in LA, so that's good. It doesn't get, like, muddy or anything, so the
It's
dog
just the
won't track
dirt.
in too much. It's just a little dirt.
It's just just like walking barefoot in New York City. I mean, a dog is
Yeah,
walking
that's
barefoot
true.
all over the place. So I
Yeah,
got those
that's true.
little Malacat paw wipes that we use when we come inside.
Mhm.
Also, because the dog jumps on your bed, you're like, ew. Okay. So try not to think about it too much. So
Yeah, I don't think about it at all.
she is the dog makes her a little nervous. So he tells us, they really only spent one time together when Douglas had transitioned to Alliya. So Alliya is like, yeah. She's like, it's really like it's brand new. It's like a brand new life completely. So she asks as they walk up to the car, she goes, "Is this car clean? Did you clean it?" And he says, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." And he goes, "And the dog is clean too. The dog got a bath last night." In the car, she's like, "It's a new life. It's like I was born it today." And he says, "Let me show you where Giselle lives and Leonardo." And she goes, "Who?" He says, "Giselle." And he goes, "Who?" And he says, "Giselle Bundchen." And she goes, "Lives here?" Like she could not, a famous Brazilian.
Yeah,
And he's like, "Let me show you these other celebrity houses." And I'm like, this is the kind of tour I need around LA.
it
Have you
was a
not?
clebrity. Yeah, you can do those. They
Yeah, I
have the
would.
big buses.
Yeah, but I want you to do it. I want you or Matt to
Okay,
do it. I want a person to
okay.
do it that I know. Um, so as they're in the
I'll break
car,
all my NDAs by
yeah,
driving
yeah,
you around to
yeah,
people's
yeah, yeah.
houses.
Listen, if you wouldn't have said that, I wouldn't have ever known that you knew for sure it was anybody's house. As long as you didn't type in the gate code, we're good. Um, so she's looking at all the big houses and stuff, and she was like, "Oh my gosh." She says, "From the slums to Beverly Hills." And as they walk in to the house, and his house does have like a really like interesting look. She was like, "Oh my God, this house is like medieval." And she goes, "Wow, it's like I'm in another time in history here. I'm confused now." Yes,
So she's never seen the house over video? Like,
it's
she
not.
seems shocked by all of it,
I
the
would have been
inside.
like, "Give me a tour on your phone." Yeah.
100%. They've been
Um,
together for several years now. They've n He's never walked the camera around.
it's interesting because we knew he had like the Barbara Streisand and the Cher dress and all that. We knew he had like Hollywood memorabilia, but he
Mhm.
also has dinosaurs everywhere. Like,
They hid the dinosaurs from us so that we could get this reveal with the dinosaurs. That was a
because
lot.
because it's like all above the crown molding and stuff is like paintings of leaves and then little dinosaurs peeking out like, hello.
Hello.
And then actual like toy dinosaurs also up there. It's crazy.
It's like, hey, what's up, girl?
Mhm.
Um,
She's like everywhere
do
you
you
look.
are you
It's the thing.
pooping? Can I do our thruple in the other bed? Is that okay? Thank
It's
you. Knock knock.
wild.
It's
Wild.
everywhere. I don't understand. There's no theme really.
No.
Like I thought the theme was like old Hollywood, but
Yeah.
then you add in the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Me confuso.
Me
Muy
muy
confuso.
confuso. He's like, I'm into dinosaurs, and well, first of all, he says I'm into Hollywood memorabilia and antiquities, and she goes, and dinosaurs, and he goes,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and the dinosaurs. He has a whole Barbara Streisand room, and then he does a who is Barbara Streisand quiz, and she's like, she's most famous for singing and acting as well as trapeze. He's like, nope. And then she goes, okay, who is Cher? And she's like, yeah, I don't know. Singer? He's like, okay. Yeah, it's
I
funny because
need
he's
to
trying to like
train you better.
train you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now she goes in the
That's
bedroom. He's like,
maybe what happens, Shawn, when you date someone like 60 years younger than you. They don't know the same Hollywood celebrities that you do.
yeah, totally.
Also from another country.
That too. I mean, she didn't even get Giselle right away. And that's a
No.
huge famous Brazilian,
Yeah.
So I could not believe. So they're in the bedroom and she's like, no, I'm not gonna jump on the bed because my clothes are dirty, but she touches it. But she puts the suitcase on the bed.
That was surprising because I don't think you do that. Like I know like
I
and
tried very hard not to. I try to put
I
it on
tried
the furniture rack that comes with your hotel room or whatever. Yeah.
ever since someone told me don't do that because of bed bugs. Now I'm a
Mhm.
little nervous. I usually
That
get a
too.
room with 2 beds and then one bed becomes the suitcase bed.
The closet. Yeah.
The closet. You just lay out everything and then I'm in the other bed. Yeah.
Yeah. I usually put my suitcase on when it comes with the luggage rack in the room. And I have one in my house too. And so like when I come home from a trip, I lay it on that. And it's a little low when you're trying to, get things and stuff,
Mhm.
but at least
That's
it's not
smart.
like on the bed. But yeah, on the bed is gross. Like when you go on a Disney cruise, they when you go into your room and your suitcase is in there, they have it on the bed, but they have this like big plastic mat underneath it.
Oh.
And you put your suitcase on that.
Oh.
Interesting. So I would if she would have put like a huge towel down or something, but she didn't put anything down. She just opened it up and her shit flew everywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah, maybe she's
Yeah.
not as big a germaphobe. Maybe he just thinks someone who's neat is a germaphobe.
It could be, but it could be also she's not traveled so much that
Right.
it would occur to her. Um, okay, so anyway, I think the house is fun. She's like, "What is this?" It's like a little doll hanging everywhere you look. I never saw that before. That's something new.
Yeah,
So later they go
that was
outside.
weird. Also, it looked like a creepy marionette or something. I did
Looked
not
like
like
his
it.
head was missing, perhaps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was unhappy that that is in the bedroom.
Just swinging in the corner, tagging
Yeah,
along.
no, that's so creepy. It just starts swinging and no windows are open. There's no.
Um, so later they go outside, and the outside is gorgeous. It's a beautiful patio and everything. And he's like, yeah, after we have our wine and everything, I just want to get in bed and cuddle and see where that takes us. And she says, okay. And he goes, I did all the STDs testing that you asked me to do. So everything's fine. And she goes, and you will show that to me. It's like, yes, I will.
Good for her.
Take my word for it. And he reminds us that they did have an open relationship. He needed it. It's not really something that she wanted, but if he was only going to see her a couple times a year, it was something that he wanted to do, but she wasn't so into it. And he says, last time I saw Alliya in Brazil, there was no sign left of Douglas. And so our sex life changed. And at the end of the day, I didn't sign up to be in a relationship with a woman. So if she's going to fully be a woman, I know I'm going to miss being in the company of a man. So we're going to have to navigate it so we're both happy. This She is a woman now. She is now Alliya. So sexually, maybe you guys can work that out and it won't matter. But if you're not going to be attracted to her, if she's appearing, dressing, makeup, hair, clothes as a woman, and
Yeah.
you're not going to be attracted to her, and want to have sex with her, then
Well, I mean, he was
oh,
married to a woman before, but I
right.
think he said now he feels more gay, or does he feel more
Yeah.
bi now? No, I think he
He's
feels more gay now.
yes, he said he felt like since he got divorced, he says, "I identify as a" I think he either said a gay man or a man who only dates men or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you
But he's a
either
gay
have to
guy who wants to be with other gay guys, you know?
yeah. And honestly, I see that as honestly being like not even the biggest issue in the relationship. I see a far bigger issue in the fact that the house is all him. It's all
Mhm.
his stuff.
Yeah.
She wanted a little dog. You got a giant dog. You didn't listen
Mhm.
to her thoughts on that.
She wanted a dog she could put in her purse.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
got a giant dog. She wants a monogamous relationship. You
Yeah.
want an open relationship. That it just seems like he gets his way all the time,
Mhm. That's a good point.
and so I'm concerned.
Yeah. And I think that his point is valid, is he wanted to date this hot, young Brazilian guy,
Yeah,
and so that's great. So you can actually still do that, and you should let her go
you should let
because
her go and find somebody that already is there.
what
It's
you
a better
want.
fit. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're saying, like, I may still have to have an open relationship to enjoy the company of men, so this is just gonna be like a marriage on paper because you loved Douglas and now Alliya, and you're just trying to help them? Like,
I think he probably would have wanted a relationship an open relationship anyway. Um,
really? If
he
even if
wanted he wanted one when it was Douglas, even but just because it not ju I think he says because it was long distance,
mhm,
but I think even if it was someone in the States and he was with them regularly, I think he would still want an open relationship. I think that's just what he wants.
okay.
And,
Okay,
um
that's a great point because when he was with Douglas, he still wanted the open relationship. That had nothing to do with
no, he
Alliya.
just said it was because it was long distance and he didn't wanna go that long without having sex. So,
Yeah.
um,
Mm,
I don't know.
okay.
I think he wants his cake and eat it too, and I think he wants
Yeah.
what he
Yeah.
wants, and I don't see him bending a lot. The only thing that he really succumbs to her seems to be, like, with money. Like, I remember he bought her a lot of stuff. He put up a fight, but he
Mhm.
would, like, buy her, like, material things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, last season, we only saw them on vacation, so I don't
Right.
really know what it's gonna be like here.
Day
But
to
if he's
day.
not even gonna bend on little things, like the kinda dog she wants, or put up a huge Brazilian flag, like, put up like,
Yeah.
decorate the house more like her, like, just something. I don't know, it just feels very
It should
much
be
like
like "This'll be your glam room, and
right.
we can change it to do whatever you want." That
Yeah,
kinda yeah.
yeah.
So, so she says, "So now that I'm here with you, what are you thinking about the open relationship? Are you going to keep doing that?" And I feel like the way that she's saying, "Are you going to keep doing that?" instead of saying, "I don't want you to do that." You
Right.
know? Yeah. And he says, "Look, you just got here. We don't have to figure it out tonight." And she says, "Well, I'm telling you, I haven't had any sexual relations with anyone since you were last with me in Brazil." So he doesn't say me either. He just goes, "Okay." And in the talking head, she says, "Now that I'm here in the States, that open relationship stuff should be over. And maybe if it's not, that means he doesn't accept me as Alliya. But I think your point is he wants to have an open relationship no matter who he's with."
That's just the
Yeah.
feeling that I get, but I also think he doesn't accept her as Aliyah
Yeah.
also, and he's still mourning this
Yeah.
past person. Um,
Yeah.
but he was
Yeah.
still sleeping with other people
When it was
when it was
Douglas. Yeah.
Douglas. So
So he just needs to find somebody who's down for that lifestyle. And plenty of
mhm,
people are.
mhm.
So the next morning, Maxwell, the dog, gets in the bed with them, and she's like, "Is he going to do that every day? Is he going to get in the bed and wake us up every day?" And he goes, "He's going to wake me up every day." And she's like, "I wanted a tiny dog." And he says, "Oh, you wanted like a little rodent you could put in your purse." And she's like, "Yes, she wants to be Paris Hilton, is what she wants."
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
So they talk about how last night he was trying to go to sleep. Alliya didn't know where anything was in the house. And he goes, "She was in the bathroom for a long time and I fell asleep." And he says, but sometimes when we were
Why did
together,
you have such a long day? You just had to go to LAX. I mean, I understand LAX is very exhausting, but like he didn't travel like 36 hours to get there.
maybe it's like a long day of filming, and maybe it was like
That's
it
true.
could have been 1 a.m. She
He's
could be on the
also a bit older.
totally different time zone. You remember, because she's coming from like, remember what I said, they were like 4 hours apart. He was 4 hours behind. So that wouldn't make any sense. Whatever. He's an elder. He's tired. Okay. And he says sometimes when we're first together, it is awkward, but then we get used to each other. So he goes, "Are you excited today? We're going to go on a hike." And she goes, "No, I just got here. Why don't we go shopping?"
Yeah.
And he goes, that would be me, by the way. He goes, "No, I just want you, we go and see some stuff or whatever." So they take the dog, and she's
Again, they're doing what he wants to do. She doesn't want to hike.
No.
This is like when Mark took Mina out into the woods for a picnic. She was like, "Take me to a mall, please. Is there a Nordstrom's?
Can I go to a real grocery store?" That's all she wants.
Please. That's all I want.
So anyway, she's grossed out by the poop bags, the whole thing. She's grossed out by the whole situation. And she was like, "I don't care about the dog pooping. As long as he cleans it, it's no problem." And he goes, "No, you're the mommy now, so you'll have to do some work." And she goes, "You're dreaming too much." Which is funny. So then on their little hike picnic, she tries peanut butter and jelly for the first time. And she says it feels weird in her mouth. And it's just
But she doesn't dislike it.
No, she's like, "I'll try it. Sure." It's interesting that they don't have peanut butter in Brazil.
Yeah, a lot of places don't have peanut butter.
I just thought that was a staple around the world. What do I know?
No,
I can't eat peanut butter.
I've seen other people eat peanut butter for the first time and they think it's very weird. But I think they get hooked on it really fast.
Well, yeah.
It's not like Vegemite or something where people try it and are like, I really want to try it, by the way. If anyone wants to send me some, I love salty things. So I really think I would like it. But
did you see on Between the Sheets when Sophie made Julia try Vegemite?
No.
Yeah. She was like, "It's so good. Everybody loves it. It's great. It's an English thing. Everybody loves it." And she was like, "Okay." And she's like, "What's wrong? Why you do this to me?"
It's an Australian thing.
Yeah. But it was, well, maybe it wasn't Vegemite, but it was some sort of British thing like Vegemite that I had heard of. I thought it was Vegemite, that she was like, "Everybody loves it. It's really great." And she made Julia taste it, and she was not happy.
She did not like it.
She was like, "Why you British people eat this?" Okay, peanut butter and jelly. So she says, "All my friends and family know that I'm here to get married to you. So I want to know, what of your friends and family, like, who knows?" And he goes, "Well, my mom knows a lot, of course. Some of my friends sort of know about you, and the kids don't know at all. Anyway." And she says, "Do you feel embarrassed of me?" And he says, "No, I just don't want to hear anybody's comments about my life, and I don't want anybody else's advice. I just want to live my life and be private." So then she asked that question that we saw
on a TV show.
Except this is the second season that we're filming. And he says, she asked that question that we saw last week, was, "Would you get married if we didn't have to get married for me to be here with you?" She goes, "Because, getting married and the whole wedding and everything and having the husband and all that is my dream. Like, it's a dream for me." And he goes, "I've done that and I don't really need it. So I want to be with you and I'm so glad you're here. But probably would I get married if it wasn't the way to get you here? Like, I haven't really thought about that." And in the Talking Head Together, he was saying, like, he hasn't told everybody. And she says, "We have a beautiful story and people should hear it." And he says, "Okay, well, when they meet you in person, they'll hear it." So here she is. Ask all the questions. I'm sure it won't be awkward.
Don't put her through that.
Bad.
Like, tell them ahead of time.
I agree. All right, we're going to finish up with Stevie and Mahdi. And yeah, I'm interviewing Stevi, I think, in 2 weeks, everybody. So,
oh, good.
I'm excited about that. So he goes to the barbershop and he gets in the car and he's covering up his face. And the guy has messed up his mustache.
It looked the same to me. I didn't see anything weird about it.
I think that his mustache, he had trimmed it, like, away from his nose and made it shorter above the lip, so it was like a thinner mustache instead of, like, filling the whole place, because if you look at, like, what he looks like in his talking head versus what he looked like when he came out, it was like a painted on Ken doll. Like,
Uh,
it was so closely manicured around his face.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Instead of being like a scruffy beard, it looked
Yeah.
like a painted on Ken doll. And,
Uh-huh.
so she's like, "Oh my god." And he goes, "Once it was done, what could I have said? Put it back?" You know? He says, "The thing that they did here was all the barbers turned the chair away and cut your hair not facing the mirror. I'm not used to that, or I would have told him." And she's, like, laughing, and she's like, "I have to tell you, it did not look good." And he's like, "Oh, thanks." Um, yeah, it's just like a different look completely. So they go in the house because she's like, "I wanted to go to the coffee shop." I think the undertext here is, "We are filming at the coffee shop."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I can't go in public like this," you know? So they go home and he lays on the bed and she draws it in with it looks like just magic marker.
I know, she said she had, like, eyebrow pencil stuff,
Yeah.
but it did look like she was just doing it with, like, a Sharpie or something.
It wasn't a Sharpie. I did notice because that won't come off, but it was like just a magic marker that you would use for like a poster, you know?
Oh, well, why doesn't she have more makeup stuff? She needs an eyebrow pencil or
I
something.
don't know. It was funny.
Or go stop at the drugstore.
He's like, "I guess this is better. Could you fill it in over here?" And he's like, "I guess you could draw things more than boobs." So they go to the coffee shop and they're walking in and they talk about the way she says espresso instead of espresso and how she says
Yeah,
especially instead of
yeah.
especially. And she's like, "Well, you say," what'd she say? She said, "You say something." And he goes, "No, I don't. That's how some Persians say it, but I don't."
Oh, yeah, I
Tanks,
can't remember.
tanks, tanks,
Tank, yeah.
tanks, tanks. Um, so they order some coffee, and he says he wants the thing that's like chocolate, and she's like mocha. And he just has when he's ordering even, he has such a calm and sweet demeanor.
Yeah,
His voice is soothing.
yeah, and they
He
said he's an English teacher, and I was
Yeah,
like, "I can see that."
yeah, you can see it.
Yeah,
So she tells him, about her conversation with her dad's girlfriend, Wendy, and how he said when he first got there, like, "What if I ever wanted to go back home? Like, what would you do?" And he goes, "Well, I think you should not have told her that." And he goes, "It was just a feeling I had at the moment, and we were talking, and I was just being honest about what I felt in that moment." And he goes, "And to be honest with you, I miss my parents now even more than I did that first day, because of course, you know? And it's probably become more and more real to him too."
mhm.
And he goes, "And of course, it's gonna be a thought that's always in my mind that I'll want to see my family. And of course, I know that if I went back, it would probably be permanently." And she was like, "Well, I'm wondering now if you're going to always have that thought that you always want to go back to see them." And he goes, "Well, I always thought, like, before I came here, if we broke up and you didn't want to be with me and we broke up, then I would probably just stay in the States. But now I think if that happened, I'd probably go back." And she's like, "What? What are you even talking about? That was in your mind before you came here, that if we broke up, that you would just stay here? And if you really are thinking that, this was not the best decision." I think she's completely overreacting, but I think this whole situation is so, like, at the top of the surface, like,
Yeah,
fresh, and the
yeah,
nerves are just on edge.
yeah,
And they're filming a TV show, and they've only been together in person one time.
yeah.
Um,
Is that true? She only visited him
yes.
one time?
Yeah, and they met in Turkey for that, like, 2
Also,
weeks.
I went back to that first episode because I was like,
Yes.
we have to be wrong. She can't have said she has children
Yeah.
because
Where are
she
they?
says, "I'm a single mom with 2 kids."
She did say it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Where
Where
are
are the children? I
Okay,
Why
well,
even mention it? Like, do, like, a thing with Lauren and be like, "D they never mentioned that he had kids." Just
right.
'cause and only Reddit found out. So, why did they tell us that in the first episode and then they're never gonna address it? And she says, "I'm a single mom." That means that the kids are with you.
Right. Well, she
But
must mean I'm a single mom and I don't live with the dad, and he's currently watching them while I'm filming the show.
right. So he
Or we can only film during school hours, you
right.
know? Yeah.
And then she pulls out all the boob paintings. Like, there's
Mhm.
no kid stuff at the house that we've seen so far either.
And we only saw that 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Where are the children?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, well, we're gonna get to the bottom of it. Don't worry. Either she'll mention it or I'll ask her,
Is
but
it
we'll get to the
summer
bottom of it.
break maybe, and the kids are with the dad, like, for the whole summer or
Definitely
something?
summer because they would be
No.
practically naked in Mississippi if it was summer. You wouldn't have that many
Yeah.
clothes on. You would definitely
Yeah,
not be
you're right.
wearing jeans. No. Um, so okay. All right. So that's when she says, like, if that was on your mind before you came here, maybe it wasn't the best decision. And the talking head, she says, this is the first time he's ever mentioned like that he thought about what would happen if it didn't work out. And that's the first time I ever questioned his motive. I've never thought about this before. So she's talking to him and she's like, I don't like this. I don't like this. It makes me feel really bad. And I've never had those thoughts once. And he goes, never once you've thought, like, what if it doesn't work out? And she says, never once. Never.
See, that's insane to me because she has been divorced, like, twice.
Yeah.
So, it should occur to her that this could also not work out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's in that, like, lust, love thing that she's not even I'm
Yeah.
sure she maybe had those feelings with one of the other guys too.
Could be.
Like, and then you snap out of it and then reality hits.
She says, for me, it's forever or nothing. She says, I would have chosen you no matter what. If I had to move to another country for you, if I could, I would. But I have kids I'm not mentioning. And she says, and I don't want to get married unless I know it's forever. And he goes, well, that's obviously what I want. That is what I want. And you're making a huge deal about one comment. And he goes, it was just a thought that I had that I shared with you. And she goes, don't think it. Wow. And he goes, I have to be able to talk to you and tell you what I'm thinking. And now she's crying. So I think I think it's just the nerves are on edge here,
Yeah.
In the talking head, he says she's being a little unreasonable about this. And she's the only person that I have here that I can talk to. And when I do talk to her, then it backfires. And she's the only person I have here for support. And she's not being very supportive right now. And it's over. Sad.
They're going to be fine.
They're going to be fine. Next time on, Joan talks to her family in Uganda and says she has no idea how he is going to pay the dowry without a steady job. And then we see her outside talking to him and she goes, yeah, it's 15 cows for the dowry. And she must say what the price is. And he goes, how could people ever afford that? And she goes, people can afford it, just not you.
Oh, Joan.
Sick burn. Sick burn. And then she says,
needs to get together with John. They could just roast Greg the whole time.
And then she says, if you don't get a job, I'm going back to Uganda. He's like, what? She's like, yeah, get a job, pay for the cows.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Okay. I gave up my nice life and my good job.
Yeah.
For this.
Jessica and Juan are walking around and she's saying, like, you have to think, like, do you really want all of this? Do you really want Poop Town and the baby and the two crazy stepchildren and
the two Chinese food restaurants, Mary Payne,
and the 5 Mexican restaurants? Yeah. Yeah. So she asked him if he really wants all this. Of course he does. He just looks at her, lovingly. Alliya and Shawn are at Hamburger Mary's and they talk to someone who is not told who it is. It's a woman. And the person says to Shawn, like, maybe you're just mourning the loss of Douglas, which I think is right. And Alliya says, I worry that the more I want to be myself, the more distant he is from me. And if we don't get married, it's going to be a disaster. Well, it looks like you stand him up at the altar from what we saw. So
yeah.
Now it seems Mark and Mina have landed on Bald Head Island, and we know
my God,
because they're on a golf cart. They're on Bald Head, and she says, I worry that Jordan has talked bullshit to the entire family. And we see lots of family around, and then Jordan is sitting with Mark on the steps and says to her dad, did you talk to Mina about the prenup? He goes, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and do the prenup. And Mina walks out to sit in a lawn chair. And it was like, this is bullshit. He doesn't know how much it's hurting me. And that's right. He doesn't need to be talking about the prenup in front of Jordan.
I think Jordan says that too in front of everybody.
She does, in front of the whole crowd.
A shit starter.
Yes,
or to be good for the show.
Yes.
Because the producers told her.
Shekinah and Sarper go out to meet her friends. And these are the guys, this is the ragtag group of friends. We've seen them before.
Yes, the guy with the face, with
Yes.
the
Yes.
face.
Yes, with the face. And then there's the French guy. So he's talking and he goes, I've told her that that I will be a better match for her. And Sarper
He did the same
says,
thing at the reunion.
yes, he did. And Sarper says this French, the way he pronounces baguette sounds like a slur for a gay man.
Oh,
Yes, because he doesn't say baguette correctly. And he says this French baguette doesn't know what he's doing. And then we see the two of them like face off. Now I think Harper could take the French guy in a fight for sure.
For sure. Oh my God,
sure.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although
Sarper doesn't want to get his face messed up.
What if Sarper stood up and just started like doing his stripping moves?
Yeah. Also, Shekinah needs to tell this guy, like,
yeah,
like, this is your friend and you're letting him come on the show repeatedly and like say you'd be better off with her. Like, just say, I'm not interested. Back off. I'm with him. Unless it's all for the show. And then
I was about to say, unless she was like, yeah, come on and do that thing again. That was fun. The viewers loved it.
Yeah, the viewers love it. Shawn Robinson loved it.
Shawn Robinson. She hasn't watched one episode. Everybody, that is our show. And again, Kimberly and I are covering the Baldwins. That's over on Pink Shade Prime. And when I tell you daily, I get notes from people saying, I joined Prime, just listen to the Baldwins. I'm loving it. I know that it's not popular. It's not a popular opinion, but I do love it. And I'm like,
I love that.
Good taste. People have
come
good
to
taste.
The dark side.
Come to the dark side. Watch the Baldwins. Yeah, you do have to look up the TikToks where they're going around like making fun of that video. It's hilarious.
Definitely.
They're in on the joke. And that's like you said, if she could be more in on the joke, she would be more likable, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what's happening over on A Date with Dateline. I did record Dateline, I think, this Friday. So hopefully that'll be what you're covering.
Yes, it is. It's called Poison Twist, which we agree is a really just bad name. It doesn't make any sense. And
is somebody poisoned? And is it like with the twist of a lime?
Right. That's what Katie thought it should be.
Yeah.
No, yes, someone is poisoned. And there is a twist, and it's an update episode from an episode we did 8 years ago. And I had to go back and listen to our original episode, and it was rough.
Oh, 8 years ago, huh? Do you like it when they do that? When they give you something you've already covered?
I do, because sometimes I can use my old notes and then it's less typing for me. But usually there's so many little changes in the episode, I end up just typing brand new notes. Yeah, it's nice to see how our opinions have changed after covering 8 years of Dateline. We're much more cynical than we used to be. And so our opinions have kind of changed. Also, there's a Hulu documentary on this case called Little Miss Innocent. And so we're also going to cover that one, I think, next week.
Little Miss. Now, I feel like I've heard of Little Miss Innocent. Tell me the name of the person involved, just see if it'll strike my memory.
Her name is, the victim's name is Mary Yoder, and Katie. I can't think of her last name.
Okay, don't worry about it. I'm going to look it up. It's on my DVR either way. I'm going to watch it because I don't have anything to watch tonight other than White Lotus. I'm so excited.
Great.
Okay, everybody. I've got Julie and Brandy coming on Thursday to discuss pop culture and Bravo. If you guys aren't watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, what are you doing with your life? It's really good. Beverly Hills, I think, is winding down. I think we've probably got a couple more episodes for the reunion and Southern Charm reunions this week. I'm excited about that. There's a lot of drama on Southern Charm, and I love it.
I have heard a lot of drama talking about Southern Charm.
Really good.
I've never watched it,
but it's crossover drama on Summer House too.
Now, which person from Traders was on Sierra?
Yes, Sierra.
Okay, Sierra.
I think it's Sierra. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Sierra is a Summer.
The
House
one that
person.
cusses a lot.
Oh yeah.
That they thought that meant she's a traitor.
Yeah, but so that's why I would never make it, because I have a potty mouth too. And I'm not working on making it better. So there.
No.
Everybody follow Kimberly and Katie at Dateline and follow me at Pink Shade Pod. That's your episode. And if you want more, you can click on Prime in the comments. Then the show notes rather, that will take you over to Pink Shade Prime if you want to subscribe. And then also it's on YouTube. So get yourself over to YouTube and watch us if you want. Okay, bye.